This is Patrick Rivers from 3 Days Under, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather. And as always, I am bringing you guys awesome interviews. Today, it is an honor and privilege to have Mr. Patrick Rivers. He's the lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist of 3 Days Under. 3 Days Under represents 3 days Jesus was dead. I didn't know that until I was reading the bio on this. But anyway, they have a self-titled debut album that is out now. And a good friend of mine produced this, and we're going to be talking about all of this. So, how's it going, Patrick?
Man, I have no complaints, no worries. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I don't know if I should have a Bengals fan on here or not.
It's all good, man.
So, let's jump right into this. What was it about the song Mended for you guys to say, this is it, this is going to be one of the singles and video for this crew? And what stood out about it when creating this song, man, if anything possibly?
Honestly, this song, I was actually woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning given the lyrics to this song, you know what I'm saying? And I was literally not breathing when I woke up. I feel like God just woke me up in the middle of a sleep and was like, man, this is what it's like when I'm not around. It's a struggle to breathe. It's a struggle to get through. And so that right there was like, man, this is going to be our jam right here for now. So. And honestly, it's the first video released because it's the first video we got shot that was done correctly and worthy of putting out. So if we're going to be completely transparent,
here's something that really kind of still bothers me to this day, because I used to do paranormal research and stuff. It interests me and everything. But 3 o'clock in the morning has always been the witching hour, supposedly.
Yes, sir.
So,
yeah, man.
And you're a Christian, and I want your opinion on this. Does that make sense to you? Do you think that's actually true, or is that just a saying? I mean, I want your opinion on it.
Man, honestly, as a Christian, we believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So, I mean, if we're going to be talking about we're going to believe in this one Holy Spirit, then there's a possibility, there's a strong possibility, this is my personal belief, there's some spirit out there. There's a spirit realm. There's a whole dimension full of craziness, in my opinion. And so, yeah. Now, where the witching hour comes from, as far as 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. I've always heard the same thing.
But I'm like you. When I was doing the paranormal research, there was a couple mornings where I had woke up at 3 a.m. and I felt like I was choking. I felt like I could not breathe and could not grasp for air.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I'm pretty sure it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning when I woke up with that too. That's just crazy, bro.
It's scary, man. It's a really scary feeling to have that, and knowing that you can't breathe and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing.
Yeah, definitely, man. And then that first gasp of air hits you, and I feel that pain, brother. I'm glad I'm not crazy then. Thanks for being the confirmation of my sanity. I don't know if that's good or bad, John.
Oh yeah, I've had it done many times, and not just me. I've heard some other crazier stories on it too. So it's truth, folks. There's a heaven and a hell. I'll guarantee you that for sure. Just
a quick question. Now, can I ask you a question though, John?
Sure.
Where did you do the paranormal stuff in it? I'm weirdly into that stuff, man. I watch all the stupid shows, and it intrigues me.
I've been to Waverly Hills. I investigated that place all night. A lot of local stuff and a battlefield, things like that. Went to some places that I never even imagined remotely would have any type of paranormal activity, and caught some really good stuff that would, I mean, it still drops my jaw to even hear it and even see it, some of it. And
right.
It's very interesting, but and I'll tell you this right now, folks, if you're interested in it, that's all good, fine, and dandy. But do not, and I'm begging you folks, do not go out and just do this on your own. Please, if you want to do this, get with a seasoned veteran that's been around 7, 8 years, 9, something like that, because no matter how much prayer you do or how much protection you have, you're still not guaranteed something's going to come home with you.
Yeah, man, there are definitely possibilities for attachments, man. Definitely.
Yeah, and
yeah, man, just gave me chill bumps, John.
I had an attachment. I brought something home with me, and that was it. I was done.
That would close the door on my ghost hunting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
It's very. Don't get me wrong. I'm still interested in it. I still find myself, from time to time wanting to go back out and do it and research more. But in the back of my mind, that just says no. Don't.
Yeah, that's that common sense bleeding through. Yeah. You're just like, oh wait, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had some scary times, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've heard chains rattling. I know people gonna say, "Oh, he's full of crap." No, I'm not. I heard chains rattling coming from my bathroom. That came into my bedroom. When you get awoke by that and you see looks like a shadow figure, but just completely dark, and you hear the chains rattling, and you grab a Bible and start, screaming to get it out of your apartment, and then the next morning your neighbor tells you, "What in the hell come through my apartment at 5 o'clock in the morning, screaming bloody murder?"
Right. Yeah,
so,
people can tell you you're crazy all they want to, but until they experience it for themselves, and they sit and talk, I guess. That's like that armchair quarterback on a Monday morning. So
yeah, it's like I said, it's cool to do it if you're really interested in researching and finding out things like that. And I hate to tell some, but the non-believers, but it's true. It's out there.
Hey, they're gonna find out eventually. You know what I'm saying? And we like as us as far as the band goes, we're just trying to at the same time, this whole religion Christianity thing, man has ruined it, and man has tainted what it was originally supposed to be, and it's not so staunch and look down your nose and point the finger at people and tell them how bad they are. We like to think that our music goes out and says, listen, man, we're just as bad, but look how good it can be, and look how good it can bring you out of,
Mm-hmm.
So
what's impressed you, Patrick, and you guys the most about making this self-titled debut album? What's caught your eye about, if anything, possibly, man?
Honestly, the work, man, the work, and just it's work. And people seem to think that these musicians can go into a studio and be done in a month and have something to put out there, and it's going to be great or it's going to suck. And usually if you're in there for a month and you put something out, it's going to suck. But it's really been work. But we were lucky enough to have such a great producer with Mick to guide us through this and say, man, you might want to redo that vocal track, or like you would tell Kyle, re-record. He actually set my lead guitarist down and be like, Kyle, chill out and do Kyle. And so he would really take us by the hand and walk us through every portion of it. So, yeah, it's the work and everything that's involved. And even after the release, things like these interviews here and having magazines, you pop up on random websites and you read the review that somebody from halfway across the nation has reviewed your stuff, and they're impressed, and you're just like, what? How is that, So
that was going to be my next question, because I know Mick very well. He's been on the show, plus he's with Four Skulls. Working with him, man. Yeah, he's an awesome guy for sure.
He is.
Working with him though on this, I know you said it was pretty easy working with him on this, but did he just step in when he needed to, or was he? I know you said he was guiding you guys through that, but let's talk about that a little bit if you don't mind.
Initially, when I first went in and I sat down and met with him, basically it was just I'm going to record your tracks and I'm going to mix them and match them, and you guys can be on your merry way. And then I think it was day 2 in the studio. I was like, listen, Mick, if you have any input, don't hesitate to tell us. We're big boys. We can handle it. If you think it's something we do would sound better, tell us. And he said something along the lines of, I don't know if you'll like what I have to say. I said, no, we want this to be the best product we can put. So we give you complete permission, complete control to do what you think that where we need to tweak these songs. And he said, okay, I will give you my 100% input. And some of it you'll like, and some of it you'll go with it, and others you won't like and you won't go with. But this is just going to be my input. And so he really did. And for the quality and the product and the work that he alone put into it, we will stay with Mick for forever, as far as we can see, for anything they do.
Yeah, I got to listen to the song "Mended," and it's pretty good. I like the sound of it, and Mick did a hell of a job on this for you guys, for real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are beyond impressed, and a lot of the feedback that we're getting is just how the sound. Hey, man, where'd you guys get this done? Well, he's a local guy, and I mean, yeah, Mick is very good at what he does. He's a little, not a little. He is very anal when it comes to mixing. Let's just take that word "little" out of there. I mean, that dude is anal. He wants and I couldn't appreciate it more. If it was up to me, we would have released 6 months ago, and we would have released garbage. But Mick looked at me one day. He actually sat me down and had a come to Jesus meeting. He's like, "Listen, Patrick, I don't want to hear another thing about releasing. I don't want to hear another thing about getting a track out so you can get it to your radio guys. I don't want to hear it." He's like, "You will get it when it is done. When I feel like because he's like, because not only is your name on it, but right now it's my product and my name's going to be on it." So, and I could not have appreciated that statement more, because that just told me he takes it so serious about not only what we sound like, but what he's putting out there under his company name. So
right there, folks, I want everybody to listen to the statement that Patrick just made right there. If you're working with a producer that doesn't sit you down and gives you input or even gives a damn about what you're doing in that recording studio, find somebody else.
Yeah, man, you're wasting money. They just want your dollar. They don't care about your music, man.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm glad that Mick's like that, because, like he said, he's right. That's his reputation, and plus, first and foremost, as a band, that's his responsibility to give you guys the best product out there, and that's kudos to Mick, man. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. Yeah, everybody, check out Radical Sound Company if you're looking to record. I don't care if you have to drive for 4 to 6 hours or even fly in. Get yourself a hotel, stay for a week, record your tracks, and let Mick have them and do his stuff. So,
how long did it take to record this album and get everything going, man?
Now, I'm pretty sure what I'm about to say isn't the typical. This project has actually been in the works for a couple years. So it's been about a year and some change in the studio it was to get this done. But between work schedules and the entire band really being put together, because like I said, I mean, I jumped the gun quite a bit. I went into the studio with 2 songs and a drummer, a fill-in bass player, and that was it. And then over the course of recording, the other guys came along and really filled in the spots and just made 3 days what 3 days is. And that's what took the time.
Any songs off this album, Patrick, that stand out more to you on it? Possibly, if any, man. I mean, I know these are like picking your favorite collectible or whatever, but do you have a few that stand out for you?
Man, there's a track on there called "The Fall." I don't even remember what number it is on the album, but it's called "The Fall," and I just love that song. I just love the song, and it's nothing lyrically, and honestly, it's musically simple, but just the impact that it gives me, and I can hear it in so many places and in so many situations, and so all these songs are my prayers and even my arguments with God. And so I just see so much in this one particular song has so much to do with addiction and suicide and throwing it all away, man. And it's just, yeah, it really jumps out real good.
What do you hope the fans take away from this album or message you hope they hear while listening to it?
Like I said before, this what man has painted this whole Christianity thing to be. A, this isn't what it is. And B, we have problems and fights and issues in our lives too, man, as far as Christians go. So I want the guy who's sitting in a bar somewhere to be listening to this music and be like, man, this stuff rocks. And then he starts feeding. We've actually had a guy, I think he's from Monticello, Kentucky, but he shot us a message. He's like, listen, man, I was just thumbing through the internet and ran across your video and I started listening to it. And he was like, but this can't be Christian music. And then he started, and now he's on the path to straightening his life up, man, and getting things squared away from him. So it's things like that we want to see continually happen for people.
How much growth musically have you seen this band and yourself go through from up to the release of this album? Or has it just been more of a personal growth for all of you involved? This
has honestly been the growth between the 4 of us that are in this band from day one to now to the release has been phenomenal, because we have honestly is getting to learn each other and actually seeing how serious each of us is about this. But it's been crazy to see how close we've become, and and how we can just look at one another now and be like, dude, what you're playing just isn't working. And everybody, okay, you just don't find people like that that can take constructive criticism. Like everybody needs a petting room when you tell them something's wrong anymore. Mm-hmm. But I don't even know if that's politically correct, but that's what it is now.
Works for me.
And as far as musically, what we're writing now, we're actually writing our second album now. It's leaps and bounds from what this one was. I mean, it's already different. You're not going to you can't put us in one specific sound of a band or a category, because you're going to hear so many different bands in it. So,
do you do anything different during the writing and recording process to help keep your mind fresh and open to not let anything get stale and not get boring possibly?
I do not listen to I don't listen to music. I do because I do not want to be, and we're all going to be influenced by something, So definitely while I'm writing and while trying to come up with new material, I do not turn on a radio. And as boring as it sounds, I'll listen to talk radio before I'm going to crack on regular radio and listen to music, because I just want it to be pure and unadulterated 3 Days Under music.
I like the name 3 Days Under. I really like that you guys use that name, and I don't know what grabbed me to that, but I do like it. Give us a little bit of background on how that name came about. I normally don't ask bands about how'd you get your name, because I know, but this one was really intriguing to me.
Well, actually, I was doing the solo thing for the longest time, and this was about 3 years ago. And again, I was in prayer. I was like, man, I just want my band. I want a band. I don't want to do this solo stuff anymore. And finally, he said, okay, I'll give you your band, but you're going to call it 3 Days Under, because that's represents the 3 days my son was in hell to take the brightest of lights to retrieve what was rightfully mine. And I said, okay, you win.
Jeez.
And so
that's awesome.
We went from there.
That is awesome. So for the folks who have not got to see 3 Days Under at a show, what can they expect from you guys?
We do not pull our punches. We're not going to come up there and be statues and we're going to go, we're there to rock. We are there to rock. We're there to sing and speak life into people. And we're there to entertain too, man. There's nothing wrong with having a good time, especially rocking out. High energy, and just, I don't know, maybe bring your earplugs, because we're going to be loud. It's going to be loud.
So we're living in the digital era of recording albums and plus social media. Do you like this that we're in right now, to get albums out quicker and plus social media to reach out to people who have not got to hear of 3 Days Under as of yet?
I'm kind of torn between it. It seems like everybody, now that I'm digging deeper into this, everybody and their brother is trying to push music somewhere. So it's really hard to find something new. At the same time, you can reach so many more people, but you're in a sense, you're trying to swim against the tide when you're doing something like this. But yeah, I mean, just to get ears on it and to get eyes on videos, it's a very helpful tool.
In your own opinion, man, what does 3 Days Under bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, if anything possibly?
Because it's nothing you've heard before. You might be able to pick out a little something here. Oh, that reminds me of, but yeah, that kind of takes me back to, or that sounds like so-and-so, but you will not you can't. We've tried. We've sat down and tried to figure out who we sound like, and if we're something new, or if we're something old, or if we're something in between, and it's everything as far as the sound and just the rawness of it, and we're digging that.
Patrick, what made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you, my friend?
I've been trying to quit being a musician for the last 5 years now, but there's really no answer to that one. I've just always wanted to write and sing. There's just no. It might have been Steven Tyler at my first Aerosmith concert when I was like 13. He might have done it, but looking back, I guess really pursuing hardcore was honestly Eddie Vedder at the last Pearl Jam concert I went to in Lexington a few years ago, just to watch him interact and how he treated the fans and how he just was with people. And at the same time, he was also putting on an amazing rock show. I think that solidified it, that really put it to me to where you can do this and have this Christian lifestyle at the same time.
Has there been a show or a moment that stands out more to you being part of 3 Days Under that made you say, yeah, this is well worth the time and effort that we have put into this band?
There is one kid from Newark, Ohio, that he will be my standout kid ever. He refused to come into this venue. He just wasn't coming in. He said there was nothing in there for him. His life was literally in shambles. He had nothing. And finally, the preacher man went out and brought him in. He agreed to come in, and he walked in with so much hate and anger, just fueled. I mean, you could see it written all over him, man. He was like 6'4", just a tower of a 22-year-old kid. You knew you didn't want to meet him in the dark alley because he would beat you bloody. But by the time it was all said and done, I got to sit down with this kid and talk to this kid and watch his demeanor change after he prayed and received Jesus. And I'm still in contact with him today. And this kid, he's doing such great things. And, that right there is my moment and probably will forever be.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I'm not I'm a huge believer, trust me, but I'm just not to that point of going forward with anything else. And you can vouch for me when I say this. You know when it's your time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you do.
I just have a lot of things going on. Still.
Hey, the funny part about all of it is I mean, this is another way man has tainted this whole Christianity thing, man. You don't gotta put on a suit and go into church on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean, you don't have to have every duck in a row to be able to be right with God. Mm-hmm. You can literally do this and not have to have the most perfect, the wife, the 2 kids, and a job in the house, and you're at church every Sunday. That's not what this is about, man. We all have our problems. I mean, you got preacher men that are going to wind up in hell, and I just said that, and I hope a lot of people hear that. You're going to be surprised when a bunch of preacher men, you're looking around at heaven and you don't see that dude there. Because you know what I'm saying? We got it wrong.
Yep. It's very true. Very true, man. Support-wise, is it easier to find local shows or venues to be part of being a Christian metal band versus a non-Christian metal band locally, or do you see yourselves traveling out more to get shows just as any other band?
Oh, we literally have to travel out. We live in the Bible Belt, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And so being a Christian metal band and trying to go in to play shows, no, that doesn't fly. That doesn't fly at all. But I don't mind the travel. We don't mind to have to go and do because, if they're not going to receive us here, then we're going to be put in spots where we're received and needed even more. So it's just much easier to go and do.
I'm sure you receive this a lot. But what's it mean to you when you receive an email from a fan or prior to the shows or after the shows, they tell you that your guys' music has helped them through a bad experience or gave them inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's just made them relax of the everyday bullcrap that we have to go through just to get away for a couple hours? What's it mean to you if that's happened?
We actually had a lady come up to us and tell us that she was going to commit suicide, but she forced herself to come to the show, and after the show, she had rethought the entire thing of taking her life. And so it's mind-blowing. It's humbling. It's you feel like you've fulfilled something that you were supposed to. You've been called to do. Mm-hmm. And so fulfilling is the best way to describe that.
Thank you for your music, first and foremost, man. I don't care if it's Christian rock or not; it's still good. Music's music to me.
Thanks, bro. We appreciate that, man. We do.
Yeah, I want folks to understand. I don't care what color of skin you are. Music is music. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's just plain and simple. So, My good friend, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy this new album, tour dates, tickets. I mean, anything and everything. 3 Days Under. How can they do that, Patrick?
Facebook.com/3 Days Under. You can also find us at 3daysunder.net. You can find links to purchase all the albums, and it's all over the digital media outlets, the Spotify's, the Google, the iTunes. It's all over that if you guys want to check it out there as well.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Would not care one bit, bro. This is Patrick Rivers from 3 Days Under, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Hey, thanks for having us, John. We appreciate it.
Not a problem, my friend.
Now you're the go.